Alright, in today's video, I was thinking about authenticity and how important that is. Because sometimes we believe that we might be judged, people might not like us for who we truly are. But I think that's the goal in life, is to be who you truly are. Instead of trying to change yourself to fit into groups or fit into where society thinks you should, I think we need to not do that, because then you start to lose who you are. You start to lose your identity. And then sometimes you start to do things that really isn't in sync with your true values, the true person you are. And I'm guilty as charged. I did this for a long time, and that was a lot of the reasons why I would never come on here and do videos, because the fear of judgment, the fear of people not liking the true who I am. And there's nothing wrong with because I don't know, I think that, like, I used to always, and maybe that part was me too, of trying to fit in where I thought I wanted to or where I thought I needed to. But it was part of me, but it also wasn't truly the whole me. Like, I would leave out the spiritual stuff, the being a good person. I don't talk about the things I do when I'm not, in public, like donating money and helping people and doing all that stuff. I kind of keep all that on the down low. So, and again, at the end of the day, and I don't know if it's, maybe I didn't want to make others feel bad, man, or if I was, like I said before, like, I was afraid to be judged, so I didn't know if that was a good thing to do or not. It logged me out of the thing that I'm using as kind of a guide here. So I don't know if this is a spot to where I should start over or just let it go. But I think I'm just going to let it go, because it's kind of funny. Because, like I said, it's all about being your true authentic self. And that's why I kind of get on here and do the things that I need to do, regardless of what comes up or whatnot, because that shows that it's in the moment. It's the authentic me trying to roll with whatever happens while all this is happening, even though it's being a pain in the rump right now. So, but yeah, roll with me here for a second. All right, we're good. So that's the thing, is being your authentic self and being truly who you are, instead of trying to fit into where you might not be. Because then if you hide the true you, somebody needs the true you. Society needs the true you. Not everybody's supposed to be the same. Not everybody's supposed to fit into these groups or everything. It's okay if you do, if that's part of who you are. I'm not saying that it's bad to be in these groups, or it's bad to want these things, or bad to fit in where it is, if you truly do. But don't change who you are to fit in somewhere that you might not like to be. And if you do that in the beginning, well, then at some point you got to bring the true you out. And it reminds me too, because during the meditation I had a thought of, I don't know if this is the exact quote from the Thor movie, but like his ma tells him that, everyone fails at who they're supposed to be. The true, like, meaning of a person is to be good at who you truly are, is how good you can become at who you truly are. So even some of these movies are still good for good messages, man. Because that's, to me, I feel like that's the truth, is that we have to, this is who I am. And I'm being authentic, I'm just being me. Because that's part of it too, is being vulnerable without fear of judgment. And that kept me from being the true me forever, because I was afraid of judgment and I was afraid of all that stuff. And again, not everybody's going to like what you have to say. Nah, it's just not going to happen. You're not going to be able to please everybody. But the goal is to get on here and please the people that need to hear what I got to say. Trent Shelton, he's one of my favorite speakers, man. And he would say the same thing. Somebody's out there waiting for you. They're waiting for you to step into the true you and be you. So then that makes them might make them feel more comfortable to be them. And that's why I get on here and do this, because I want to show that no matter where we are, no matter what we've done, no matter what, we can start to embrace these things and start to look at the true, your own values, your own beliefs. You know, I believe in a higher power. I believe that there's whatever you want to call it, God, energy, universe, whatever. I feel like when we do the things to commune with that energy and ask it to guidance on what we need to do to totally fulfill our soul, our spirit, whatever, that it will guide you. It's just that a lot of the times the ego steps up and tries everything it can to stop you from becoming the spirit, because it's afraid that it's going to lose dominion over you. And that's okay, because sometimes we need our ego. We can't just, a lot of people say get rid of it. Yeah, and I get it. I think you just need to learn when to listen to it and when to tell it to shut the F up. You know, like, listen, I don't need you today telling me all this BS about what I'm capable of and what's going on. Half of it's not even true. Half of it is you just scared because you think that we're going to step out the door and a tiger's going to bite my head off or something, you know. We don't live in that day anymore. We don't have that primitive survival brain, but we all live in that fight or flight. And then, like at the Chopra Center, they're teaching us we all live in that fight or flight, where, you know, we don't know what to do. Like an unexpected bill comes and we like freak out. And again, yeah, there are times when you do need to, because you know you don't know how to cover it. You don't know how you're going to get by. But I look at it as I've made it this far in my life, and it's always kind of worked out no matter what. Hasn't always worked out the way that I wanted it to, but it's always worked out in one way or another. And that's the thing, is sometimes we have to let go of those expectations of what's going to happen and what we're capable of. But maybe not let go of the expectations we're capable of. We have to have better expectations of what we are capable of. Because I believe that with the conditioning and everything we've had on us, telling us we can't do this, we can't do that, we should only do this, we should only do that, we have to live by all these rules and standards, which again, there are rules and standards we should live by. You know, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, like the good karma ones. But at the end of the day, we are capable of doing more. We don't have to just fit into what society thinks we need to do. Sometimes you got to stand up and stand out, man. Sometimes you just got to say what's in your heart, what's in your mind, what's in your soul. And that's what I'm trying to do is connect that energy and just speak it and help other people realize that we all can do this. We can all connect to that soul energy that's inside of us. And I feel like sometimes the bridge to that connection is meditation, because it helps slow the frequency down in our bodies, slows us down. Because like I was saying in another video, God whispers, the ego screams. Well, when we slow ourselves down, when we slow our energy down, when we slow this thing down, then we can start to hear the whispers of the soul, start to hear the whispers of God, start to hear the whispers of the universe trying to guide us. Maybe it's, Deepak Chopra used to say, like the real you is behind the curtain. It's like behind you. And then he would have us do this thing where we'd close our eyes and say, who is the one thinking the thoughts? And you would start to hear from like back here, you'd hear this voice say, I am. And that's like your true soul. That's the person behind the curtain. They say that your true soul does not exist in space and time, in the 3D world, that it exists in the 4D. And then when you connect to it with meditation, then you can let the energy of your soul flow through you, let the energy of the universe flow through you. And there's different levels of the soul, like universal, collective, and individual. So, and you can connect to all those levels through meditation and help bring those aspects of your soul and maybe even other people. Like a lot of people talk about muses, like they say other people communicate with them. And society thinks you're crazy if you say stuff like that. Well, I don't care what society says, because maybe that's a possibility. Maybe we are channeling beings that lived before us and live in the 4D, 5D, and we channel those beings and bring what they're trying to say into this world to help the world. It's like Star Wars, like what Obi-Wan does and all the things. They help you from beyond. I wonder, sometimes movies have a little bit of truth to them. So I wonder if that's what happens if, when we leave this body. I've had people that have passed away, and shortly after they passed away, I see them in dreams, and they say things to me, and I start to wonder if that's the way they communicate after they leave this plane, after they leave the 3D world. They turn into, because I don't remember what the equation is, but nothing can be created nor destroyed. It's only transforms. So maybe they just transform into a different energy. Maybe we're all capable of doing that. So don't know where I was going with all that. It just kind of came out. So, but anyway, you got to embrace who you are. And again, you got to realize that not everybody's going to resonate with you. Some people are, but you got to get your message out there. You got to be who you are and find out who those people are. And the ones that enjoy what you got to say, talk more to them, hang out more with them. The ones that don't, that's all right. Give them a silent blessing, tell them to go about their way and find their own group where they want to be. So I guess that's the thing, is you do have to fit in, but you have to fit in with the right way, instead of trying to change yourself to fit in where you think you should. You got to be yourself and find out where you fit in. So I guess that's part of the message, even though I lost it in a bunch of talking. But yeah, it also says, accept your imperfections too, because, and that's the thing too, is we're expected to be perfect in all the moments. Sometimes you're not going to be perfect. Sometimes you're going to mess up. And you got to accept those things about yourself. I laugh. Whenever I mess up, I laugh about myself. And whenever somebody does something dumb, I just laugh. Once something's done, once something's messed up, it's like the saying goes, no use crying over spilt milk. It's already spilt, fix it, find the solution. Once something's broke, fix it. Once something doesn't go the way you want it to do, try something different. It's always that imperfection will lead you to a perfect moment. And that's in the present moment, is like not to chase those perfection, is to chase those moments of perfection, because they're always going to be everywhere. They're not always going to happen one after another every day. But then sometimes you can get those perfect moments where, like in softball, I'd have those things where everything would just slow down. And it was almost like there was a few times where the ball would come in and it felt like it was coming in at 2 miles an hour, and it looked like a beach ball. And it was like, here we go. And then you get the perfect pitch, you get the perfect hit, and it was strange, man. How does that happen? How does time slow down? But then there's other times when you're in a slump where the softball, which is probably like this big, looks like it's this big. And then there's other times where it looks like it's this big. So that's that perfect moment where everything just kind of locked in. But you don't have those every day. The goal is just to keep doing what you're doing. And then when those moments come, then you live in them and you enjoy them and have fun with them, instead of searching for them all the time. Just keep being yourself, and then they'll come when they're supposed to. That's why I believe in divine timing. Like, you can sit there and be upset about everything that went wrong in your past, but you're still right here. So why not say, hey, how can I learn from everything that happened before me, and then be in this moment and try to create something different? I can sit here and be upset at myself for trying to fit in for the last 20 years. Or I could say, you know what? Here I am. Let's go. And I'm going to be in this moment. I'm going to be me. And I'm going to let it out. And that's why I encourage everyone to do the same thing. But again, maybe sometimes you need to do the things I was just talking about to learn something until you figure it out. And that's the thing, is to keep trying until you figure it out, I guess. That's the message too, is to never give up. Be you. Never be afraid to be you. Because if someone doesn't like the true you, well then what can you do? You surround yourself with a good support of people who like you for who you are. And then you just keep continuing to grow and accept your imperfections, continue to grow. You also got to set boundaries too. You got to know your limits. Sometimes people like to push your buttons and do stuff that really isn't good for you. You got to learn when to, kind of how to handle that too. and be clear about it. So, but again, that's just the message of the day is somebody needs something that you are. Because again, like I was saying with Trent, sometimes somebody's out there going through a hard time or needs to hear what you have to say, but you're afraid to say it because you might upset someone. Now, I'm not saying go out there and be an asshole and be totally that, but I'm also saying sometimes you might have to say something in those moments that might upset somebody for a minute, but then it makes them think about it, or it makes you think about it and grow as an individual. And that's the thing is, like, I used to always not want to ruffle feathers, so I wouldn't say anything. I was always like kind of, wouldn't say it, or was scared about it, like, oh my god, I might upset somebody. Well, maybe sometimes they need to be upset, because sometimes when you get upset, it drives you to do something different. I know sometimes when I get upset with myself, I'm like, all right, that's it, I've had it, I'm going, and I got to get back on here, and I got to be me, and I got to keep going, and I got to keep it going. So I want everybody to, no matter where you're at, just keep doing what you're doing. Or if you want to do something different, do something different. But be yourself. There's something inside you that we all got something inside of us that's great. And don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to be yourself. And don't be afraid to be judged, because everybody judges. And like Wayne Dyer used to say, all they do, if someone's judging you, all they do is define themselves as somebody that feels they need to judge. It's not about you sometimes. Sometimes people will judge you based on their own imperfections or their own not being able to be vulnerable like this because they feel like they can't. And that's okay too, because I did it for years until I finally just said, you know what, I'm just going to be me and see what happens. So that's the message of the day. Be you and see what happens. And like and subscribe. Any comments, any questions, anything, just put it down below. And you guys all have a good day. Bye.